My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Mornin Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Mornin Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies home series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning to you on this Tuesday, the 26th day of November. Welcome to another Morning Barbados presentation. Happy Independence. We're on the last stride, the last week leading up to our 58th independence and the 3rd anniversary of Barbados being a republic. How about that? I certainly hope you're celebrating all of the wonderful things that make us who we are, that make us Bajan. And we have so much that unites us, even more than the things that are different. So today I'm wearing my pin, and I want to encourage you to wear your pins as well. You know, any accolades you were given. This one I got because of COVID. So it came in this beautiful little box, and I've not worn it since last year. So I'm taking this opportunity to encourage those of you who have your pins and various insignia and so on. Now is as good a time as any to sport it, right? As we celebrate our independence. It's very, very, very important. Okay, I dropped it, but we'll get it at some point in time. So I have to say a special good morning to those of you who wake up especially to spend a little time with us on Morning Barbados, particularly if you're retired and you're just having your cup of tea or whatever and you turn on to Morning Barbados. It really makes a difference to us. So thank you so much. And those who tune in online on social media as well. So we wanted to start this morning by welcoming some familiar faces. They most certainly are no strangers to Morning Barbados. They're from the Rehabilitating and Enabling Society for Amputees, and they're here to tell us all about a fun day coming up. So Mr. Patrick Ford is the president of the association. Tonya Holder-Springer is the Public Relations Officer, and Antoinette Chandler is the Secretary-Treasurer. Good morning and welcome. It's good to see you guys again. Last time you were on the show was at Standard.
Yes.
We were having a good time.
It's true. It was very nice down there.
Some beautiful furniture and stuff. Still outfitted by them, but it's really great to have you back with us this morning to talk about a fun day that we have coming up. So I'll start with you, Mr. Ford. First of all, tell us a little bit about the Rehabilitating and Enabling Society for Amputees, how you got started, and the work that you do.
Well, the Amputee Association is persons that have lost their limbs, either lose their limbs through diabetes or through accidents, and they try to, the organization try to come together to encourage persons that know that don't be sheltered, don't give up, but continue to find hope and to find value that they can life is still beyond their limbs. And the Amputee the association come together by a president named.
Our former president was Mr. Judge Bank, but it started with Maxine Phillips, who's deceased now, and then actually Patrick is our newest president. He was elected last month.
So Mr. President, that's very, very new. Yes. I have to call you Mr. President from now on.
Yes, appreciate it, thanks.
I do.
So tell me how you heard about the organization, Antoinette, and got involved.
On the 15th of January. I lost my limb in 2017. And the February when I went down to Turkey, they had a poster up advertising the meetings. So I decided I would see what it's all about. And to tell you the truth, I didn't want to go back. I didn't really impress at first because, man, you know how it is. But then the Lord spoke to me, and I said, but if you wanted me to be a part of an organization, I didn't need to use my limb. I could have volunteered. He said, would you? And the answer was no, I would not. I might have volunteered for 1 or 2 times, but I would not have put my all into it. But then I went back and I really see where I can help and be of good service. Because my motto is, there's life after amputation. In fact, there's life after any disability. Just don't drop in a corner.
Absolutely. What about you, Tonya? How did you hear about the organization for people looking on, and you know, what kind of piqued your interest?
Well, me as the youngest member in the group, it wasn't my cup of tea at first. I was introduced to the organization through a lady, and when I went and I see it was a lot older folks, and I told me, when I come in room, I was like, this is what she really invited me to. So I tell myself, I just sit down and see what's going on. So that the first meeting that I went to, it was we had a lady that does do foot therapy. So me that suffering with an illness with my feet named chronic lymphedema. So that piqued my interest, the conversation that was going on. And I see how the members was communicating with the lady and so forth. I asked a lot of questions because it interests me. So I tell myself, I give this meeting the next try. And come back again. I say, okay, I see a lot of progress for this meeting. I could see a bright future for this group, because it now start back because COVID had stopped it, so it now try to get back outside. And me that like social media bad. And I tell myself, I tell Anthony and Mr. Ben, we gotta set up something, social media accounts, we got to put ourselves back out there, we gotta start doing some ribbon drives and putting ourselves back out there.
Yeah.
So, as I tell you, the youngest person, which I know a lot of people and so forth, so that's how it really get me inside.
Yeah. So you were able to use your skill and do something you love and still be a part of the group.
Yes.
While learning. That's great stuff. For you, Mr. President, you know, she talked about someone coming in and sharing about lymphedema. What are some of the other services that you get through membership in the group, or some of the areas that you also cover?
We also help with a food drive, because we realize that among ourselves, even during COVID, even ourselves, even today, that we still continue to need to help each other. And what we try to do monthly is to try to have a hamper, or give a hamper to each member that comes monthly. So we try to do 2 or 3 hampers, so that's a food drive. As PRO and the secretary talks about going out there in the stores and let people know more about WISA and what we stands for. So we do the ribbon drives, and we also do like collections to help raise funds to help the organization. So we have other things planned to come, and as we do this fund day, that will help to broaden our scope to help other persons within the organization.
All right, now I know that you're working towards something major. Transportation, obviously, in Barbados can be a challenge. I've traveled and I've seen buses that they say that they bow, so they're able to kind of, based on the hydraulics, kneel to the height of the sidewalk and so on, and then you're able to wheel in the space and so on. I've heard talks about being able to move in that direction, but your organization is raising funds to be able to get your own bus. Tell us more about that.
As you say, the transportation is a big problem, starting with the bus stand. As we are in wheelchairs, if you notice it, we can't enter the bus stand, the Fresh Street bus stand, from the front. We have to use the back door, which is a challenge for some of us. right? And there's only one wheelchair space on the bus. So that is a challenge for us, and the bill is very high when we have to do for meetings and things like that. We had a meeting with the minister already, and they're setting up a next one for us again to highlight some of our plight.
Yeah.
And to see how best they can help us in our situation.
Yeah, I know later in the show we're going to be talking to Janelle Oldo,
yes,
who is, newly minted advocate.
Advocate,
and
yes, please.
I had occasion to be a part of a workshop. I didn't see any of you there a week or two ago. Introducing the media to the new legislation that's coming on stream.
Yes.
And the hope is
at the
that
Parliament?
in the next, no, it was at a hotel, but in the next 3 years or so, they're hoping to outfit all government offices to make them accessible. And I think that's very credible. We'll talk about that, of course, a little bit later when we have Janelle in on the show as we look toward the day on December 3rd that is designated for
International Disability Awareness Day.
Absolutely. So, we're working toward all of that as well. So, you have a fun day coming up, though, Tonya.
Yes, please.
So, talk to us now about this fun day. It looks like Tonya is the person who said that she wanted to do this fun day. I see you smirking already,
Every day to raise money for Risa, I just smirk. Yes, we have a fundraising extravaganza coming up on December the 7th. As we say, we're trying to raise proceeds for the bus, so going to the bus, we will have entertainment, face painting done by me. I gotta go on YouTube and learn. We will have a domino competition also. We have karaoke, your best karaoke, your voice, I bring up my bath voice. I got to win something. It's going to be a good day, and I hope that we really bring a lot of people, and we can reach that goal to really at least raise funds for the bus, because it's really needed. It's really, really needed.
Absolutely. I can just imagine. And we talk about accessibility all the time, but for me, and I don't mean to call out business names, but every time I go to Carlton Supermarket, I will tell you I get upset because the front row, you have the accessible parking spaces.
And it's always full up.
And people indiscriminately just pull in.
Yeah.
I mean, like no care consideration. Because for a wheelchair user, if you have to navigate getting in and out of a vehicle, then you need that extra space that accessible parking space provides to be able to conduct business just like everybody else.
That's right.
And I think we have to be more conscious of stuff like that as we go about our business. All right, Mr. President, when does the fund day come off and how can we get involved?
The fund day come off on the 7th of December at the Barbados Council of the Disabled ground. How can we get involved? We involving every person's general public and also other Filipinos, our brothers and sisters from the other disabled community to come out and be a part of this organization, be part of this fund day. And we asking, to come out, be involved. If you, as you Piawa said, if you can sing, you can sing. If you can play some dominoes, can play some dominoes. You also will be, we have our own food stall. Our secretary will tell you more about that, and it's going to be a wonderful day. It's going to be a day of excitement, a day of come together, a day of to enjoy each other, and we're looking forward to see each other and also the general public to be involved.
That's beautiful. I want to see you
spend
guys.
enough money.
I want to see you guys get that buzz. Tell me about the food
fund day was a brainchild of our group. We was planning just to have a little social activity on independence, because that's what we do. We did it at one of our members' shop. But then I remember the 3rd of December, and we decided to push it then to the 7th. We have invited other disability groups, like the MS going to be there, Paralympics. They're also trying to introduce wheelchair volleyball to the wheelchair users for Paralympics. I see that Judah Lee Wickham now is a runner with a assistant. She's running track. And who else? There's going to be other organizations passing through.
All right, but the president said you were going to talk about the food.
Oh yes, the food. The food on our menu, we're going to have macaroni pie. Of course, Barbados staple, put in the sauce by me. Right?
Listen, are you making some of the best put in the sauce in Barbados? You have to declare your hand.
The best.
Not some of the best.
The best.
The best put in the sauce.
I don't say some of the best. I am going to tell you I am the best.
All right.
People may contradict that, but I am the best.
Listen,
even in my where I am.
Peter and I gonna have to come and taste your hand. And
definitely.
Peter
definitely, you're invited.
Have to talk about it.
I'm very invited.
For sure, we'll pass through.
Right. Yes, and the pudding is really my staple.
Okay.
Right, and well, my daughter took over from me, and she's very good at that, because we provide the master stores with pudding. They do their own sauce, but then we're gonna have chicken wings. We're going to have paytails, ham cutters, cheese cutters, hot dogs, burgers, fruit juices, regular drinks. You know, it's going to be a full stall. You
okay, what time does it run from?
From 11 to 5.
From 11 to 5 o'clock, so really all day.
Yes, and from 3 to 5 is when we're going to have the karaoke session. And inside that karaoke session, Eric Lewis have agreed to come and be our MC, right? And we're going to have entertainment by Patrick and his dance group.
Yes, I've seen Patrick perform before.
Right? They're going to be singers by hopefully by the Courageous Voices, but then there are some other blind people. Mr. DJ agreed to come and sing for us as well. A musical Sheen.
Okay.
So we have entertainment. The dominoes competition will be some of the blind is playing dominoes. It's $10 a person, and the prize money will be according to what we raise from the dominoes competition.
All right.
There's a cash prize at the end of that.
Sounds like a truly exciting time.
Yes, it will be an exciting
and
day.
I'm happy that you guys are getting out and sharing more about RISA. You know, the organization is definitely back, Tonya. As you mentioned, after COVID, you were kind of struggling to kind of get it back out there.
Yes,
and I can see that you definitely are getting it back out there.
Yes.
So for those people who are looking on, I'd like from each of you to tell us why you think, you know, there might be someone looking on who has lost a limb for whatever reason, and they might be at home struggling with, what can I do? You know, the different emotions that you go through. What would you say to them about getting out and being a part of an organization like this so that they can learn more and share and still get out and enjoy life?
For me, right now my focus is at the QEH. I started to do some advocacy there for RISA, for amputees, and also for diabetic patients. And trust me, talking to these patients is be hard. And me, look at me, I like to give people motivation because I've been through it all. And as Antoinette said, there's life after amputation. And yes, because I still like to go partying. I still like to go out. I still like to dress up and look sweet. And I like to tell, as I call them, my patients, I like to tell my patients, look at me. I had my amputation, and I'm still going forward. Do not let it stop you. So get up and do the things you're supposed to do. I'm not telling you that you can't eat and drink as you like, but eat and drink in moderation. Eat and drink in moderation. I see and drink in moderation, but don't sit down and eat a whole cheesecake. Drink 2 Cokes, because you know diabetics like Coke bad. I tell them, eat in moderation. A simple, you know, some fruit, some vegetables. I decide the little sweetness that you want to eat. And I tell the family members, because the person have a disability now, do not make them feel like they are useless. like they can't help themselves. That's how we just feel. Sometimes we be feeling like we're a burden, but and we mind it's be hard for us, but when you pushing it on us more, that is make it worse.
Yeah.
So I just got to encourage the family members, not only the patient, but the family members also, to remember that this is something new for them. Let them grieve how they want to grieve. They got to cope with it, no matter how long, but let them get through it. And if you're in the kitchen and them want help you, come and peel the potatoes, come on, go to 2 carrots, something. Yeah. But let them feel like them can a part of what you're doing. Don't let them feel useless and just push them aside and make them feel like you got to be doing everything for them.
I think some people don't know how to react as well. Yes. Because in as much as it's grieving for the person who has lost the limb, it can be a challenge for the family member as well, because they remember you, they know you in a certain way. They remember you being able to do certain. Some people just don't know how to react because you still wouldn't want people to feel like you're treating them like Kadir all the time.
Yes, pity, so much pity, yes.
With a lot of pity. Okay, from you, Mr. President, what would you say to people looking on about maybe looking out to join the organization?
I am saying that here, I am as an example. And I use myself as an example because I realize that you can't just sit back and relax and don't do anything. As you said earlier, don't be a burden to your family member. Try to help yourself. But your family member, although you was out there doing everything else, try to help yourself to get up and do everything. So I encourage individuals to come out, be a part of WISA, because it's not just a association that you come together and just relax and you want to get out, but it's an association that will give you a sense of hope to continue to live your life, continue to value what you have, and to know that despite God said, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens us. And allow you put God first, you can do anything you want.
And I know it's true with you because you're out here dancing. Tonya talked about, enjoying herself and still going out and stuff. And I know you do your worship dancing and so on. So it hasn't stopped you. And finally from you, a quick word to anybody looking on.
Anybody looking on, we have meetings every third Saturday of each month from 1 to 5. And Jessica could get in contact with us. We do a lot of advertising ourselves, right? Because we think it's important that people know about WISA. There's a lot of amputees in Barbados. Some people get the prosthesis and say, I'm back to life. But join a group. Help us help other people.
Yeah, that's very, very important.
Help us help other people.
Good stuff.
Because their mindset is very low esteem. We also have some, like firefighters, Belgian firefighters, they will be also at our fan day. And Mr. Glenn has agreed to come and give a demonstration. Yeah. Because it's very important that we have assistance and know how to handle ourselves in disaster matters.
All right, so we're going to have to wrap it up, but it's always great to have you guys coming in and sharing with us, this time at CBC, not at Standard.
Not at Standard.
But it's great to have you back.
It was good to be here.
Social media handles, quick, Tonya, where we can find the organization.
We're still on Instagram, RESA Barbados.
RESA?
Yeah.
RESA Barbados is that simple. So get online and help someone. But most importantly, come out to this fun day that's coming up. Is for a worthy cause. They're working toward getting a bus so that they can get around and get things done. Putting on an extravaganza and fun day. Miss Antoinette says she makes the best punna sauce in Barbados. That is yet to be proven. We shall see. It will be a punna sauce off. But thank you so much for coming in. President Patrick, PRO, Tonya Holder Springer, and Antoinette Chandler, Secretary Treasurer. I wish you guys the very, very best. I definitely will pass. So Peter and I, my camera guy, we are going to be judging the punna sauce.
Thank you.
When we come, absolutely. All right, time for a break here on Morning Barbados, but we have much more coming up. And remember, I told you later in the program, we're going to have Janelle Odell, who's a disability advocate, talking to us about the legislation that is coming on stream pretty soon that's being brought by the Minister of People Empowerment. Do stay with us. Much more is coming up on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good to you.
And
we gotta talk with them.
On November 30th, get ready for a night of phenomenal performances. Get ready for Soca Goes Gold 6, brought to you by the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust. Proceeds in aid of their 2024 Christmas feeding program. CBC is a proud sponsor of Soca Goes Gold 6.
Here's a quick tip about collisions and injuries. If you experience pain after an accident, even after a few days, don't ignore it. Seek medical attention and contact your insurance company.
A message from the Barbados Police Service and the Barbados Government Information Service.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so welcome back to Morning Barbados. We've already commenced our conversation. It's because we're that familiar. I'm talking about the next guest. It's great to have Sakina Bakaria, president of the Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies, joining us now to talk about the 16 days of activism. 16 days, 16 stories.
Yes, please.
So good to see you, as always.
Good morning. Good to see you as well.
Takes us back a few years.
Yeah, just a few.
All right, so let's talk first of all about the organization. I remember speaking to you when the organization was kind of starting up again.
That's right.
And you know, you just kind of were all in. So talk to us about this organization, the Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies.
So Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies was founded in 2010. We are a community empowerment organization. For specifically, it was started for Muslim women and girls, but we have realized that we don't exist in a silo in this island. We exist as part of a community, and issues that are prominent to Muslim women and girls, cover Muslim women and girls across the island. So I think it was about 3 years ago when we last spoke with regards to 16 Days, 16 Stories, our online campaign at that year. We had shared snippets of summaries of first-hand stories of incidents of gender-based violence within the community. This year we're taking it to the next level. Over the last few years, we've been working on ourselves in terms of making sure we have the educational capacity to run the organization. So we have a wide cross-section of academics as well involved. So we started this work as volunteers, but we realized to be recognized or to be acknowledged and to be taken seriously, we need to make sure that we have the academic background behind us. So our team is consists of like persons who are trained in counseling, just trained in psychology, trained in social media, because we need that as well. And we're constantly working on ourselves and developing ourselves so to have the capacity to run. So I am currently in my 3rd year of social work, studying social work at UWI, and I'm working in the field directly with clients who have experienced gender-based violence, not fully within my community, but in the wider community. And what we have noticed with 16 Days, 16 Stories is that we speak a lot about the physical aspects of gender-based violence. Barbadian society talks about the physical, when somebody dies, or when, the beating or the bruises, but we don't get as much recognition and discussion around the other subtle aspects of gender-based violence, the manipulation, the control, the financial abuse. And in advocacy, I realized that people often overlook that. That could be happening for years before you realize that, hey, this isn't right. And by that time, the survivor, and I say survivor because a person who leaves that situation is no longer a victim. They're usually conditioned. The psychological damage is vast, and it's important to highlight and recognize those signs. Even in the advocacy spaces, in the policy making spaces, a lot of focus is placed on the physical aspects and not as much recognition or sensitization is done along the other aspects of gender-based violence. So 16 Days, 16 Stories is going to cover 3 first-hand accounts of survivors. It's going to be incognito, so it's an ethnographic description of a survivor's story and some video presentations and then a general discussion. We have had tremendous support over the years doing our work from the Institute of Gender Development Studies at the Nisa Barra Unit at UWI Cave Hill. This project specifically is due to a grant that I received when I completed the project. So I did the certificate in gender development. I applied for a grant, and the work that I would have received this grant, and this is what specifically goes towards that then.
What do you think are some of the ways that we can assist more with what's happening? I know that we talk a lot, we hear the term now a lot about climate deniers and so on, but there's still some people who deny that this exists at the volume that statistics say that it does. Mm-hmm. So as regular members of the community, and when I say that, I mean, just average people, because I don't think there's one of us who has not seen or experienced some level of gender-based violence, whether it's against a young girl, whether it's against, an older mm-hmm. lady, whether it's because of ethnic mm-hmm. background or what have you. So, what would you urge, based now on your social studies background, for people to do if they do, in fact, see or know of such instances?
So we need to get more comfortable with calling it out. We need to get more comfortable with, we skirt around the issue. I mean, I myself did that as well. When I was planning this event, I was skirting around the issue. And then I'm like, we have to go hardcore. We have to we have to make sure that people call it for what it is. We say, oh, they just had a fight, or, it was just one incident. But it might have been one physical incident or one explosive incident, but there might have been multiple other incidents that would have come to that. So we need to be comfortable with recognizing the signs and calling it out.
All right, so what shape will this 16 days, 16 stories take? How are you going to get it out to the public?
So we have started with, well, our networking is usually what takes our information out there. It's reaching out to our partners, social service agencies, the Ministry of People's Empowerment and Elder Affairs, directly with the Bureau of Agenda Affairs. We make sure that once we are asked to be somewhere when it comes to representing with UNICEF or UN Women or these other entities that would reach out to partner, that we find some form of representation there. So that networking has helped us spread our word. And then it's the general public. Understand that this is the 16 days. We've only started, 16 days started yesterday. So by having these events and partnering, networking with the women's agencies, the women's groups that do the work, the NGOs and the CSOs and just the simple community church groups or whatever, we try to network with everybody because it's a universal issue.
Absolutely. Talk to us more about the event itself and how we can get involved.
Well, I'll be honest, the event came together in 3 weeks because, as I said, I was skirting around the issue a lot. I knew I had to do this. I've had a lot of encouragement from a colleague who's been in the field a lot longer than myself, and she's kind of prodded and gave me little like hints of what needs to be done, but I pulled it together. Basically a lot on my own, but with the help of my team. So we have 3 ethnographic stories. We're going to have reading of some, highlighting some poems and stuff like that speak about gender-based violence, a couple of video presentations, and then a guided discussion around the topic, what people know about it, are people comfortable talking about it. You know, and I'm sure each one of us have experienced some form of gender-based violence, some form of something, whether it's, you know, multiple times of your parents raising your voice at you or something like that, but there is always an incident of gender-based violence. If you're not directly affected as a survivor, there are people that you know who are.
And a lot of the time, Sakina, as close as we are in proximity, Barbados is a small island. We live close together. We go to school together in some instances and so on. But a lot of the times we don't feel like if we know what's happening in each other's communities.
Correct.
And when I say that, I mean my community as an Afro woman, yours as a woman of Indo descent. So in terms of your organization, the Barbados Association of Muslim Ladies, is this a role that you take on and have to take on in your community as well?
Of course it does. This is how this started in 2020. We launched our hotline, and that spiraled the need for us to have more active sensitization within our community, and then in working with outside of our community, because we do a lot of network with women's organizations. In doing that, we realized that the issues we thought were just within our community, the patriarchal mindset and certain methods of control and manipulation and this mindset that a woman must be submissive and, you know, the man is the provider. But what does the provider really mean? Is it just financial? You know, what are all the other aspects of it? The project is also highlighting, like, how do you rebuild your life after you're a survivor? There's so many persons within our community who have women who have stepped up and decided after, you know, short-term or long-term relationships, they've had enough. And this, I've realized with the work that I do directly, it's not unique to the East Indian community. It's all over the island. There are people who are recognizing and want to break cycles. And sometimes when you break a cycle, you don't know what you're doing. You're retooling yourself. You're relearning these things, and there's not much of a support system. So the long-term plan for the project is that we look at how do you rebuild? What do you do? It takes sheer guts and determination. You have to be committed to the cause to change your outlook, change your mindset, change everything about you, and change does not come easy.
It's true. When does it come off?
So the event is on December the 1st, Sunday, December the 1st, which is this coming Sunday. It's 2 to 5 p.m. It's at Solidarity House, Harmony Hall, and it's free.
So you can just show up?
So you could, well, we would prefer if people register.
Okay.
So there is a registration link. There is a telephone contact you can contact. So it would be 266-6610. or 266-6675 to confirm you want a space. If you don't want to go through the process of, online and registering, that's fine. Contact us because we have a seating limit. So we want to make sure we accommodate for the person. So we would prefer registration, but if you can't do that and you just want to call in and commit, that's fine, go ahead. And it's a free event, so it's important to have this discussion and get a wide cross-section of Barbadian society involved.
All right, again, 16 days, 16 stories of discussion. Sunday, December 1st, from 2 to 5 at Solidarity House at Harmony Hall. It's free entrance, seating for only 150 people. So you want to make sure that you RSVP. It's always great to see you.
Same here.
Great catching up. We have lots and lots to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. All right. So as we
having me.
continue throughout these 16 days of activism, we definitely will be sharing stories as the days go on. And if there's stories that you want us to share, you can reach out to us at morningbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Time for another break here on Morning Barbados, but we have much more coming up. So do stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morningbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited, and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so just around 4 minutes to go before 7 o'clock, we have something fantastic that we want to tell you all about. And of course, we're going to make sure that you win and win big for the Christmas season. It's called the What You Can Give Me for Christmas promotion, right? So that's back. And we're getting ready for a big giveaway season here on Morning Barbados and across the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation Network. So that's 98.1 FM, 94.7 FM, 100.7 QFM, and of course right here on CBC TV8. You get a chance to win, and it's absolutely simple to enter. All you have to do is reach out, share your contact information, and when we call you up, you have to answer the phone the right way, and you could be a lucky winner. We're giving away television sets, small appliances. My goodness, you name it, it's on the list of giveaways for this Christmas season. So make sure you tune into a CBC station or stay locked to CBC TV8 and specifically Morning Barbados to be able to win in this promotion throughout the Christmas season. It's going to get started shortly, so you have to keep on listening. Remember, you have to answer your phone when I call you. What you can give me for Christmas? If you don't answer like that, bust luck. You can't get the prize. So make sure that you stay on top of things. Coming up, we have a very interesting project that's coming online with ICA, and we're going to be sharing the details of that and a whole lot more. Plus, later on in the show, we're going to have disability advocate Janelle Odell coming through to talk a little bit more about new legislation coming on stream from the Ministry of People Empowerment and is aiming to make Barbados fully accessible. That's all after 7. Of course, at 7 o'clock, we have a look at the news. So do stay with us here on Morning Barbados. There's much more to come.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
while you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 7 o'clock in Barbados and across the Eastern Caribbean. Time for an update of the news. Good morning to you. I'm Tisha Hines with the morning news at this time. Barbadians will not be paying more for eggs this Christmas. That's according to Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security, Indar Ware. He says following discussions with management of Chickmont Foods Limited, an agreement has been reached that the company will not be increasing the prices of imported eggs as previously announced.
It was announced that there would have been an increase in price of eggs this Christmas season due to the fact that the importer said that he had incurred an increase in the price of those eggs. We had a conversation about it today, and we have agreed that there will be no increase in the price of eggs, and that the prices will hold to what they are currently at. And Barbadians can have access to eggs for this Christmas without having to pay an increase in price.
Chickmont explains in a letter while 1 million imported eggs cost the company 80 cents per egg, the management had to make a decision to do a blended increase of 8 cents per egg on the present price from November 25th, 2024. Minister Ware also says the importation of such a large quantity of eggs is not unusual, but is essential to supplement the supply at Christmas time.
Generally what happens is that the eggs come in under agreements between the ministry and the BAS so that stakeholders can have access to the supply of eggs that they want to. In this instance, it is Chickmont, but the real mechanism is that they usually bring in the eggs through agreements between the stakeholders.
Barbados has received a much-needed boost in the sum of $500 million to invest and enhance some critical areas. This after Prime Minister Mia Motley signed a memorandum of understanding with the Export-Import Bank of the United States. Barbados now joins Trinidad and Tobago and St. Kitts and Nevis as beneficiaries of a similar MOU. Rochelle Agard reports.
Prime Minister Mia Motley says the injection of funds has been earmarked to enhance the island's cybersecurity, renewable energy, water and sanitation, as well as maritime domain awareness. And she says the MOU now allows the country to change course and benefit in similar fashion through deals with other Exim banks.
You would have heard me say earlier that next year is going to be full with a lot of private sector projects, particularly in the tourism sector. And therefore, for us not to be able to address the issue of greening through expanded renewable energy would be a dereliction of duty. For us not to expand and to strengthen our distribution capacity and augment our water resources would be a dereliction of duty. For us not to protect in a major way our digital environment through beefing up our capacity for cybersecurity would be a dereliction of duty. And of course, we are a large ocean state and not just a small island developing state, and hence the marine, the awareness within our maritime domain is utterly and absolutely critical.
President and Chair of the bank, Rita Jo Lewis, says the partnership is part of the Biden-Harris administration's commitment to revitalizing partnerships and collaborations with the Caribbean.
At XM and throughout our U.S. government, we see Barbados as a key country in the Caribbean where XM can help support impactful projects on the ground that impacts lives and builds economies. Very much what the minister just spoke about. Whether it is supporting a local business, importing U.S. goods and services on a small scale, to large transformational infrastructure projects, XM, we believe, has the tools to support a wide variety of clients across Barbados.
Meanwhile, Minister in the Ministry of Finance Ryan Strawn says it's important as Barbados seeks to drive an aggressive growth agenda.
Certainly with our thrust to digitize not just government, but the private sector's capability in modernizing Barbados, that cybersecurity is a critical area that we want to ensure that we can get done properly, and to ensure then that ordinary Barbadians can do business online safely, and that we can engage the rest of the world in a manner that is consistent with good order.
Officials say the MOU is a statement of general intent and sets no legal duties at this time, but rather is intended to allow both sides to be able to work together and for Barbados to have access to the line of credit. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Thanks so much, Rachel. An historian is calling for a reparations campaign to become a mass movement. Lecturer in History, Department of History and Philosophy at the University of the West Indies, CAFL campus, Dr. Rodney Worrell, says reparations need to be popularized in all segments of society. He says reparations should not be perceived as just a movement led by academics, Pan-Africanists and Rastafarians. He was speaking at the National Task Force on Reparations panel discussion.
But we should have all sections of the society talking about reparations. All sections of the society should become knowledgeable about reparations. Sometimes I cringe at the kind of discussions about reparations, given the fact that the reparations conversation didn't start yesterday. To aid inside of the disseminating information about reparations, we need to, as was mentioned, as a historian, we need to get reparations in school.
Dr. Worrell adds he hopes the CARICOM 10-point plan for reparatory justice will be shared with citizens of the involved countries.
And it should be done in such a way, a massive launch, and the 10 points should be disseminated widely. We must continue to use the conferences and all spaces to build the support for reparations. And we must continue to call on the Drax family to release the plantation and the lands for reparations or for apartheid justice in Barbados.
Is one of the focus points of this year's Barbados Entrepreneurship Fund's $20 Challenge. 160 participants from 9 schools are expected to participate this year. Our reporter Akeem Klinkett was at Sky Mall for the $20 Challenge showcase.
Director of the challenge, Celeste Foster, says this year is slightly different to the years before because they now have introduced the topic of financial literacy. She says she believes this will be a major help moving forward.
This year, the new thing with the challenge is that we are running a financial literacy program along both our programs, both this program, the $20 Challenge, and the Mr. Executive Challenge. And across those 2 challenges, we have just over 200 students participating. What is financial literacy? We are teaching our young people how to understand money, how to create a positive relationship with money.
One of the past participants, Paris Clark, speaks to how the $20 challenge helped her business and what advice she will have to some of the participants this year.
One of my main issues last year was pricing my product, and talking to some of the participants, I noticed that some of their prices are a little low or just they don't fit well with their product, so I hope that's something that some of them can learn. I did point out to some of them, so hopefully they can learn from that.
Some of the participants were able to speak about their business and how the $20 challenge helps.
Looking at past markets, nobody else was selling candles, so we saw it as a business opportunity. We're both individuals who like candles, so we saw it as a really good opportunity to set ourselves apart from everybody else.
How does the $20 challenge help you out to enhance your business and get your business out there?
As we plan to further our business in the future, we want to take this opportunity to definitely get our business out there so that people can recognize us, so that when we do plan to lift up our business, that it's already out there and people can come back again.
This particular participant included aspects of independence in her business.
I'm a Lucky Dip business. I'm the Lucky Dip lady. For me, I wanted to start this because I remember the joys of being at a fair and you see the Lucky Dip and the excitement of rummaging and trying to find a prize. And I wanted to bring that back, but we also wanted to make it themed. So obviously we're celebrating independence, and we thought this would be such a good avenue for our decorations and what we would have inside of the prize that people would be interested in. So we wanted to incorporate like Barbadiana stuff. So we have treats, we have tamarind balls, sugar cakes, that type of thing. We also wanted to make it educational by putting in like a fun fact about Barbados. And then we also wanted to appeal to the kids because that's our target market with the toys and stuff like that would be interactive and would make them want to come back.
The Barbados Entrepreneurship Foundation has partnered with the National Financial Literacy Bureau to introduce the financial literacy aspect not only to the $20 challenge, but also the Mr. Executive Challenge. Akeem Plinkett, CBC News.
Really great news. And it's time to talk sports briefly. That means we're talking cricket. The West Indies are in prime position to take the first test against Bangladesh after a good bowling display on day 4 yesterday. Bangladesh declared on their overnight score of 269 for 9, giving the Windies a lead of 181. Now, the Windies were then bowled out for 152 in their second innings, led by Alec Athanaze and with 52, as Taskin Ahmed claimed 6 for 64. Chasing 334 for victory, Bangladesh ended the day on 109 for 7, as Kemar Roach has 3 for 20 and Jaden Seals 3 for 31. Let's take a look at the highlights. Play resumes today. It's this morning, as a matter of fact, live on MCTV's ESPN channel 308, or you can listen in on radio station 94.7 FM. That's it from us for news at this time, but we have a major package of news coming your way at 12 noon here on CBC TV 8. And if you're on the move, tune into our radio stations 94.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and Q 100.7 FM for the CBC News World at 1. That, of course, is at 1 p.m. Time for another break, but stick around. We'll be right back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics. Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so welcome back on this very interesting Tuesday morning. For me, today feels a lot like, I don't know, Thursday for some reason, but that's been happening a lot lately. I've not been keeping up with my days. I'm sure you're a little different. Remember, we have lots coming up, coming to the end of this week and into the weekend as we prepare for Barbados' 58th anniversary of independence. So there will be lots happening and we'll keep you informed. Joining us now, we have a few people here to tell us all about something really important. Of course, we're talking about an upcoming workshop. We have to welcome Alistair Green, who is the ECA representative in Barbados, and he's the familiar face, which is why we start with him. But also here with us, we have Ciro Ciliberto, who is the Argentine ambassador to Barbados. So, good morning, sir. Welcome. Good to have you here with us. Dr. Cecilia Pellegrini, an agriculture specialist, as well as Dr. Elian Torn.
Thank you very much.
And he is also an agriculture specialist. So it's great to have all of you here with us this morning. We're going to be talking about a number of things, but set the scene for us, Mr. Glean. Always good to have you with us, talking about the work that ECA is doing with us here in Barbados.
Thank you, Tisha. It's a pleasure to be here. For us, this is indeed a great opportunity. We see it as our contribution and involvement in the Week of Independence activities. We are celebrating our AP Caribe initiative. It's a triangular cooperation activity between the government of Argentina, ECA, and the various governments across the region, where we seek to advance the apiculture sector in the region. We are looking at boosting honey production and the use of honey products across the region. We see honey as a vital product for boosting economies, as well as generally for improved consumer initiatives in the region. You would have heard the Honorable Prime Minister speak a lot about honey in the past, and this apiculture initiative, we believe, can really add some significant value to our efforts at enhancing the sector. It started in 2019, but there was a halt because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and at that time we undertook various assessments across 7 countries, and now we're back again seeing how we can advance queen rearing in Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
And now, of course, we're building on this relationship through a virtual trade mission. Before we came into this discussion live on air, I asked you about the exodus of this, where it started in terms of kind of having the trade mission online. So let me start with you, Mr. Ambassador, first of all, to kind of tell us a little bit about the relationship with your country and Barbados, and then get into this particular virtual trade mission and what we can expect.
Yes, well, Argentina and Barbados have a long relationship. We started having diplomatic relationship after a year that Barbados got independent. And a few years later, on the opening of the embassy, we started with these cooperation programs very closely with Barbados and other actors like ICA. And during the last year, that cooperation is even deeper. We have been working in a lot of different fields now with Apicaribe. We have also a cooperation program regarding the transformation of fish silage that produces feed for animals. So in that way, there's a new product that is produced here in Barbados, and it makes Barbados need less imports for feed for animals. We have also a program on the detection and the prevention of antimicrobial resistance. We have several other programs, and now we are, after almost 2 years working with ICA, we have been able to organize this seminar that is going to help honey producers in Barbados to boost their production. That will help them not only produce more honey to be for the public of Barbados, but the great thing would be that the production is even so big that allows Barbados to export honey. And it would be a honey that would have a special significance for consumers, because it would be honey produced in Barbados with specific characteristics that will be very, very seek in other countries. So that's the aim. And Argentina is sharing a knowledge that we have been forming during a lot of years, almost 100 years, doing this selection of queen bees by our apicultures. And our two experts are the product of 100 years of experience plus their own experience. They also have their doctorates in apiculture. So we think that the program will be really, really good for local apiculturists. And I would love to see in the supermarkets all the honey made in Barbados and not imported from other countries.
All right, that definitely sounds interesting. So, let's bring you into the conversation at this time. You will be a part of the discussion that will happen. So, talk to us about what it takes to be able to get to this place, based on what you will be sharing, to be able to say in a matter of months or years, here is some honey made specifically here in Barbados.
Yes. We hope with this training we will be able to improve all different steps of our beekeeping. We start with this training talking about queen rearing, selection, how we can select and make proper queen bees to improve the number of beehives and the number of honey that we can harvest each beehive. We expect with this training will be beekeepers from Barbados, will be and different countries from Caribbean will be able to improve this industry that is very useful not just for honey. It's very interesting and important for pollination service and different crops that are needed in each country.
And for you, Dr. Pellegrini, coming in to share this unique side of things, because usually when we think of agriculture, certainly here in Barbados, we don't automatically go to apiculture or to do with bees and things like that. I know we have some bee rearing going on here in Barbados, specifically at our National Conservation Commission. But from your perspective, what's the scope for this industry for Barbados, even though we've heard from the ambassador, based on your experience in the field of agriculture?
I think that beekeeping is just not only
an activity to produce honey. It's a wide spectrum that you can afford, because not only pollination service, but through beekeeping activities you can harvest pollen. It's very good for health, for human health, for animal nutrition. You can produce propolis. It's a natural product that bees can produce from plants, and it's very good for the medicine, cosmetics. There is a wide range of products that beekeeping can give. So we hope also to open the activity, so you will see in better yields in honey, but in other products and services also.
All right, I would imagine based on how bees work generally in our ecosystem. Let's get back now to this virtual trade mission, and how it will work, who it's open to, and how people can get involved.
Well, Tisha, this is our 4th edition of the Caribbean Virtual Agri-Food Trade Mission, where we hope to connect exporters or producers of various agri-food products in the region with buyers from markets within the region, indeed, most certainly, but also markets from Latin America, North America, and Europe. It's an initiative that's being spearheaded by ICA in collaboration with the CARICOM Secretariat, Improving Economies for Stronger Communities, COLEAD, and the FAO. And as I said, we are looking at bringing together almost 400 businesses to facilitate primarily intra-regional trade, all aimed at reducing our food import bill. That's all to support the 25 by 25 initiative. It's fully sponsored by the various hosts, and we start from the 26th to the 28th, so it starts today actually. And we are pushing for Barbadian businesses to be heavily involved. Some of the businesses include the International Food Science Center, managed by Export Barbados, Super Blends, O's, etc. We want to get creative and dynamic Barbadian products involved in this agri-food trade mission, and we're pretty excited for what's going to take place these next few days.
Absolutely. From your perspective, Ambassador, what does having a trade mission like this online mean, not only for the relationship between your country and Barbados, but most certainly for others down the region as well, to be able to engage in this way in an online forum, but still share all the best practices that you're bringing to the table?
It's a great opportunity to do it online. We started these online activities during COVID. It's one of the few things that COVID was good for us, is showing us that we can do this and not having to go from one country to the other, and it helps the two parts to get together more easily. And especially, for example, in the case of Argentina, we are far away from the Caribbean, far away in measuring in distance, but we are close in our willingness of having trade between the two regions. So we are very sure that it will help the Caribbean and South American countries to get together and be able to increase trade between them, and not to depend so much on the Northern Hemisphere. And this is very important regarding food security. We have seen during COVID times also that it was very complicated and sometimes impossible to import goods from other countries because they were keeping all the production from themselves. So we need the countries to expand their source of food, so that in times of need we can have the ability of importing things from other countries and not being stuck with only one provider.
Are there any other specific areas within the context of agriculture that you'd like to see developed during your tenure as ambassador here to Barbados?
There are several other areas where we are speaking about, like for example, being able to have a similar cooperation program helping people to produce more crop in Barbados. Like we were speaking of, why should Barbados import carrots from other countries when they can be produced here? Or why should Barbados import avocados when they can be produced here? One of the programs we would like to do is one helping local producers to increase the production of food in Barbados, and then in that way be less dependent on imported goods.
That's very, very important, particularly as we look to, and when we started talking about 25 by 25, it felt like, you know, so far away, and we're on the cusp of,
it's there
of 2025. Now, Mr. Glean, you noted that, you know, it gets started today. Talk to us, is it still open for participation? I mean, after it just started, I think not, but, you know, tell us a little bit about who will be participating outside of the agencies that you mentioned.
Well, registration closed last week. The actual business meetings will start from today. And what happens is you register, you set up your online presence, and just like a trade show where you're walking and you're looking at the various products and determine who you want to meet with, because it's virtual, the various buyers and exporters can connect with each other and determine if they will establish meetings. So that's what's going to take place between today to Thursday. We're going to have these various meetings. So there are no more opportunity for persons to register and participate. But we are really hopeful that the businesses that have registered from Barbados will take advantage of the opportunities in engaging buyers from these various territories.
So let's lay out how things will happen, because there's generally this trade mission, but then there will be talks. Is that included in the registration for this particular virtual seminar, or is that, you know, outside of the scope of what's happening?
Well, as I said, once you register, the meetings are established to allow you to connect with a buyer. If you're an exporter out of Barbados, so let's say Jamaica, you can meet with the buyer, you can have dialogue, there's negotiation, determining can you export and to my country, can you meet the demand in terms of volume, can you meet the entry requirements in terms of sanitary and phytosanitary measures. So those are some of the things that will be considered, the various logistics, is there shipping available? And what is often required, and I should have stated this from the onset, we primarily target micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. So these are for our smaller players who need that extra boost to meet buyers. So where there's now a role for the FAO, ICA, the government of Argentina, different entities to build the capacity of our exporters to meet the requirements of the buyers. So that is the big challenge for us, now working with these smaller players to allow them to meet the market entry requirements by the various countries and the buyers.
All right, for you, Dr. Torn, what are you looking forward to most in terms of being able to share with the participants in this virtual seminar?
Okay, we will share these 3 days different topics. First of all, we will share the different kind of methods that we have to rear queens, and focusing in one kind of method that is very useful and more worldwide used. After then, we will explain the fundamentals of selection, different kind of genetics in queens. So different traits, we will be able to find a new queen type for Barbados and each country that will be more adapted to the environment and to the way of working here. And after this, we will try to explain all about the methodology to graft larvae from a worker bee to become a queen bee. That is a specific technique that is very useful when you want to make these rearing stations. Yeah, that's the techniques we will explain, and after this we will explain how to manage, like as a company, with all the procedures, all the standardized operating procedures. Sorry, how you can improve your company to make better procedures to make a better business. Yeah.
No, Dr. Torn makes it sound very, very simple. Let's talk timelines quickly with you, Dr. Pellegrini. In terms of being able to share like this, how long do you think it could take for us to be able to get to a place where he talked about businesses being able to share, and the ambassador, you know, locally made honey or locally created honey?
I think we think that you have done a good work, but sometimes with some key factors to pay attention, you can improve properly your way of producing. So I can't say if in 1 year, 2 years you will be able to, but in our experience in all the islands, many people is doing a very good job. So we want to share some critical points to make better the production, and I think that soon you will see the changes.
All right, well, congratulations on the work that you're doing at ICA. I know you're doing a lot of work with the secondary schools of Barbados as well, select secondary schools, and hopefully we'll be able to have you in to talk about how the mission turns out, and maybe get ahead of some of the other programs so that we can involve some others who might be looking on, who are not necessarily tuned in to some of the other agencies, so they're able to get in with an opportunity to share. But definitely impressed with the work that you've been able to do through ICA and with the various agencies here in Barbados and across the Caribbean. And welcome to Barbados.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you sharing with us.
Yes, I'm having a very good time. I enjoy Barbados a lot, and I like my job. I like the relation with all the government agencies and with my colleagues of other embassies, so I'm having a very good time.
All right, we're going to work on getting you one of these for Saturday.
Oh, thank you.
All right. All right, so again, thanks for sharing with us, and we look forward to hearing about the outcome of the presentation.
Just to let you know, Tisha, that the workshop will be held at the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security's head office at Graham Hall, where we'll also be at their apiaries, and we are being hosted by Minister Indawe and his team, and we start today and we close on Thursday. So if persons are interested in getting more information on what we are doing, they can contact either the Ministry of Agriculture or ICA to get more information on the actual training that's going to be conducted.
All right, again, thank you. All right, time for another break. We're heading quickly toward the 8 o'clock hour, but there's much more coming up, so stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back to Morning Barbados. Good to have you with us in company on this Tuesday. I don't know why I keep thinking, to say Thursday. There's something going on with my brain with Thursday. I have to say a very special good morning to Kiara and Lana. Met up with them yesterday at iMart. So thank you for watching Morning Barbados every single day. Great to have you with us. All right, so we're going to move into talking about something that we trailed early on here on Morning Barbados. There's legislation coming for improving the lives of persons with disabilities. Janelle Odell is an attorney at law, and she is a national disabilities advocate as well. She definitely is no stranger to the Barbadian public, and certainly no stranger to CBC and Morning Barbados. Good morning to you, Janelle.
Good morning, Tisha. Good morning, Barbados.
It's great to have you with us this morning, and you must be feeling overwhelmed. First of all, being named an advocate for persons living with disabilities.
Yes, because as you're aware, I've been fighting for the rights of persons with disabilities for a number of years. So have that being recognized and being the work that I do on a daily basis is actually a dream. So yes, please.
All right. For people who don't know, what your specific disability is, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am totally blind. I lost my sight at the age of 6 after falling off a bicycle and hitting my head. Had a blood clot in the brain that led to the damaging of the optic nerves. So for many years, I was told that I wouldn't be able to, go to a quote-unquote normal school. I wouldn't be able to live a quote-unquote normal life. But after a lot of fighting and determination, I was able to do the common entrance examination, enter a quote-unquote normal secondary school, and from there, the fight for equality continued throughout my entire life to where I am now.
And I mean, now here we are at on the cusp of something great in terms of this legislation being laid in Parliament. Now, the hope is that it can be laid on December 3rd.
Yes.
Because that is a day that is dedicated to awareness about persons with disabilities. Talk to us a little bit about this legislation. And I know you've had close to 100 consultations and meetings along with the big team to be able to make it happen.
Exactly. So we've been knowing for a number of years, many years, that we need legislation to enforce the rights of persons with disabilities in Barbados. I told you about my situation and my story, and the hope is to pave the way for other persons to make it smoother. So for the last 2 years or so, we had a National Advisory Committee, which was led by MP Edmund Hinkson, and a number of us were on the committee, including myself and Senator Andrea Boyce, who is my co-national disabilities advocate. And we had carried out approximately 75 or so consultations across Barbados, including several town hall meetings in which we tried to gather the thoughts and from persons with disabilities, from other persons in society, the civil groups, private institutions, and everybody to see what they want to see in this legislation. What kind of rights do they want to have? What sort of responsibilities should the wider society and government have under this bill? So now we have the bill, and we're hoping to lay it in Cabinet next week, Tuesday, which is the International Day of Persons with Disabilities.
What are some of the main provisions in this bill that we really should look forward to, that you're excited about?
Well, it's a comprehensive bill, so it covers a lot of areas. But some of the huge areas, we look at education, inclusive and integrated equitable integration for persons with disabilities. We look at employment, we look at accessibility and health care, transportation, and all of the issues actually that affect persons with disabilities on a daily life.
Let's get a little more granular, a little more specific. Are there any provisions within the bill that speak to you in a deeper way maybe than others? I know they're all of equal importance, but is there anything that's near and dear to you?
Okay, so for me personally, I'm glad to hear that we are taking that step towards equitable education, because I had to fight for it, as I told you. But also what I'm looking forward to is the provisions surrounding employment, because we in Barbados, we have a 90% unemployment for persons with disabilities, and we're looking to fix that gradually, or hopefully, by providing for reasonable accommodations in workplaces for persons with disabilities to fit in. We're going to have a 5% quota for government, so any agency or government department that hire persons, 5% of their employees must be persons with disabilities. And we're also working on other areas for the private sector and different companies as well for employment. But the bottom line of that is that persons with disabilities should not be discriminated against in employment settings on the basis of their disability. So I'm really looking forward to that as well.
And I know one of the things that there's been much talk about is kind of getting buildings accessible, particularly in the first instance, and is hoped within the next 3 years that they're government buildings, but generally that's going to expand. Talk more to us about that particular provision.
Okay, so for many years we've been hearing about this building code that's not being enforced, and persons with disabilities have been crying out it's not enough to have parking spots, because a lot of the times they're not even available. But after you park in a parking spot, you must be able to enter the building. You must be able to access the facilities in the building. You must be able to, access the roads leading to all the buildings and stuff like that. So this bill will also provide for accessibility to the environment. So yes, we giving persons, for public buildings especially, a 3-year time period to make sure that their buildings and sidewalks and parking spaces are in accordance with the building code, so they can be accessed for persons with disabilities. But Tisha, persons don't realize that when we have accessible facilities, they're not only for persons with disabilities. They help the elderly, they help persons who have children in strollers, maybe persons who may have a little injury or something like that. So when we make our places accessible, we're actually helping the wider society.
Absolutely, and I can see that. Another area that you mentioned is the legislation is seeking to improve access to healthcare services.
Yes, please.
Delve into that a little more.
Okay, so we often hear, Barbados has free healthcare, so that doesn't affect persons with disabilities. Of course, they're included. Yes, we as Barbadians, we have the free healthcare, but a lot of the buildings are not accessible. And in some cases, we have healthcare providers who, because of different mindsets, because I guess we can appreciate that we're living in a society where people have certain attitudes and mindsets of persons with disabilities. So that extends also to, healthcare providers and other officials in society. So a lot of cases, we have complaints about persons trying to access healthcare, but they're unable to do so because of the mindsets of persons. An area such as sexual and reproductive health, for instance, a lot of persons with disabilities are often told, you shouldn't be having sex. Or, why do you need children? You don't need to have children. So what we're hoping to do is make sure that healthcare is accessible to all persons with disabilities, especially SRH, and the right to learn about your reproductive health and your rights as relates to that.
Absolutely. I mean, there are just so many things to go through that we just will be looking forward to being laid through this legislation. Yes. But enforcement is going to be a major part of it. As people say, you can write anything and put it there, but how are we going to move toward getting people to really get on board with this?
Okay, one thing that we are also providing for in the legislation is a tribunal. So what that tribunal is going to do is give persons with disability the right and the option to take any case of discrimination to that tribunal to be adjudicated on. So if a person, like a government official or a person in public capacity, seems to be discriminating against a person with disability or infringing any section under this bill, then a person with disability can go to the tribunal and have a ruling on that hearing. And there are a number of penalties for the various sections. So that's one reason why we are trying to inform everyone about their obligations under this bill, because if they do not follow the bill and uphold the provisions of the bill, then they are open to a suit under that tribunal.
Now, it's easy sometimes for us to look on and see. For example, earlier I had some members of RISA on, and they're amputees.
Yes.
For you, Janelle, you're sitting here with me, and I asked you to talk about your particular disability because we can't necessarily decipher. Janelle is blind by sitting here and looking at you, or somebody's visually impaired or hearing impaired. But there are other disabilities that I'd say you can't necessarily see, and some people might term them invisible disabilities.
Yes.
Are there provisions under this bill for things like dyslexia, and we're hearing a lot more about autism and things of that nature?
Yes, please. The bill actually embraces a definition on the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and it not only provides for physical and sensory disabilities, but also intellectual disabilities, learning disabilities, and developmental and mental disabilities as well. So we have provision for all of these disabilities. And you spoke about dyslexia. So even in the provisions for education, for example, it provides for like color-coded assessments and stuff like that, so that we could, for persons who may be dyslexic, when persons are looking at these assessments, they will know that they're dealing with a person with this particular disability and how to deal with that. And also, when we're talking about access, we're talking about access to information. So information as well must be provided in various formats for all persons with disability to be able to access that information. And persons who may be deaf or hard of hearing, of course, we provide for like closed captioning for different broadcast media or sign language for different sections or different broadcasts you may have, so that everyone can be included, especially emergency situations.
You also mentioned transportation.
Yes, please.
Talk a little bit more about that.
Now, transportation is a huge barrier for persons with disabilities, and I mean a huge barrier. For a lot of us, we can't just get up and jump on a bus and go. So transportation can be extremely costly when you have to pay for a taxi to come and pick you up and take you this place and next place. So we're providing in several areas to have more accessible vehicles, and the provision to have certain vehicles retrofitted to assist persons with disabilities. And I know a lot of us would have heard over the past few weeks in the debates on the policy when the government promised for to have more accessible buses coming in next year as well. So we're looking forward to all of these things to help with transportation.
All right, that's a mouthful. There's
Yes,
a lot happening. So talk to us
exactly.
about all the ways that you're going to be sharing with the public so people feel like they're on board. Of course, it's going to take a while for
Yes,
people
it will.
to learn about all that's within the provisions. Immediately, what stands out for me, I know, there are many areas that I am happy about, but I'm really happy about the provisions that will be laid to deal specifically with employment, because I know the unemployment rates within the disabled community are astronomical.
Yes, they are.
Yeah?
Yes.
So, how are you going to move to the next phase of educating Barbadians at large about what's happening with this particular legislation?
Okay, so we have started some workshops with some particular groups, and we will continue them throughout the rest of the year and next year. So we're hoping that when persons get the request to be in seminars or workshops with us, that they would accept the invitations. We're also working on our social media presence, so continue to follow the People Empowerment social media to get our information when it's up and running, and follow us to see where we are. We're also having a lot of broadcasts and stuff going on the radio stations and stuff, especially next week, Tuesday, for the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. So you can listen out for us as well. And you'll be hearing about us and seeing us throughout the society going forward as well. So we're not keeping this quiet. We want to inform the entire Barbados about this legislation because everybody has a part to play. And we want to inform everybody so they'll be ready for it when it comes.
Absolutely. What stayed with me is, what you said about education. And for people looking on, they don't know your story in an intimate way, the average person. But, for people looking on and thinking, yeah, but there's a school dedicated to, or could go to school. But the problem is some of the times they're not children who necessarily have learning challenges, but they're expected to go to a certain school, so they're not given the same opportunities. So I know that is something that's very, very important to you as well, Janelle.
Yes, please. Most definitely. A lot of persons don't realize that because we may have certain disabilities doesn't automatically mean that we are not functioning mentally or have the same capacity, the learning capacity as other persons might have. So just gathering everybody and isolating us all in one pile, one category isn't exactly the way to go. What we need is things we put in place for us to function in society on the same level as other persons. So in many cases, resources are lacking, the technology may be lacking and stuff like that. But with the aid of these resources, the aid of technology and stuff like that, a lot of us can function in society on the same level as others.
And one of the other things is there's going to be a special needs grant and non-contributory pension for guardians of children and adults with disabilities, because we know that there's so many guardians out here who they go to work or they have to leave, or they can't go to work. They have to leave early to be able to take their children out to specialized care. And there's so many parents who have come out and said, or caregivers who have said, I've lost my job because of this. So, there are a lot of layers to this legislation, but as much as you can, get on board and find out more about it. Janelle and a few other others will be here with us on Morning Barbados next week as we observe the day, and they're going to be functioning in various capacities. So I know you're looking forward to that, Janelle.
Yes, please, I am.
Yeah, she doesn't like to be on TV. Yeah, but she's going to be here nonetheless, and congrats on the work that you and Andwele, Senator Boyce, have been doing along with the various ministries and agencies, and of course all of the organizations representing persons with disabilities. It's been a long, hard road. Congratulations on these awesome wins, and I hope to see the legislation laid on Tuesday, as is expected.
Thank you.
And you'll be hearing a lot more about it here on Morning Barbados. All right, final break for the morning. When we come back, we wrap for today. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
94.7 FM with the kind compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited, and the Cut and Drive Network brings live coverage of Cricket West Indies Home Series October 31st to December 19th. Join the action, brought to you by Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL and Probiotics, Guardian General Insurance Limited. Live safe, live easy, and the Cut and Drive Network.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, so thanks for joining us today for Morning Barbados. As always, it's been a pleasure being in your homes and offices. Do join us again tomorrow. We are going to start the celebration 30 years of exclusive lighting and electrical supplies. And Adrian Alcock and his team are looking forward to being a part of the Morning Barbados family. We're going to tell you more about that and much, much more on tomorrow's edition. Have a great day today, and we'll see you, God willing, tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.